Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Money Mike, and I wanted this video to go up sooner, but when I went to edit this video, I had no audio, so I had to re-record it, and I also had to re-record my WrestleMania review, which will now be postponed to Saturday because of that, and I did not realize my computer had changed my microphone settings, and that made me realize I should probably plug in my microphone to my computer so I don't have to worry about that again. But let's go ahead and talk about the all-in footage that was shown on AEW Dynamite. So where do we begin with all this, right? Because if you were on Twitter after this happened, then you saw that WCW 2000 was trending, and I would say that that's probably not a good thing. And AEW has this weird obsession with WWE. I guess maybe it was CM Punk. I don't know. I mean, it is WWE because I want to talk about Will Osprey's comments here in a minute about Triple H. But to me, why was this needed? Like, why did Tony Khan feel the need that he could use TV time to build, or to use this to build to a match? Which, okay, I get. I get if they were like, oh, okay, we're going to show the footage, but then it's like something else, or it's like they do it in a way that mocks the situation, or they actually don't show the footage, or whatever. But they went and showed it, and then it just makes AEW look bad, and all because Tony Khan couldn't take what CM Punk said in an interview before WrestleMania last week. And CM Punk basically called out AEW, called out Tony Khan, and yeah, let's be honest, CM Punk probably shouldn't have said that. We probably aren't in this situation if CM Punk didn't do that to begin with. Because Tony Khan responded to the comments that CM Punk made by saying and promoting that the Young Bucks were going to show this backstage footage from All In, and we all heard the rumors of what happened between Punk and Jack Perry, and Jack Perry got suspended. It led to Punk being fired and going back to WWE and all this other crazy stuff. But they went ahead, they promoted, hey, we're going to show the footage. And after basically getting clowned on for showing the footage, Tony Khan made everything worse by trying to claim copyright on anybody who showed the footage, including legitimate wrestling websites, which, yeah, I mean, like, if you are going to open a can of worms, you're going to air the dirty laundry, don't go and try to put the lid back on after you've already exposed everything. So this just makes everything worse. And the worst part about it is, they were using it to build to the match between FTR and the Young Bucks. And I say the worst part, it wasn't that they were using it to build. I'm cool if they want to use it in the build, play off the history with FTR and CM Punk teaming together, their friendship, that's fine. But, they used it when they didn't need to, because to me, I thought the Bucks promo was actually quite fine if they just didn't show the footage. If you just leave the footage out and you just have the Bucks talking about FTR beating them in London last year, and you talk about how they didn't about the handshake, and they felt mad about the handshake and everything, and all this other stuff, and then you had FTR immediately come out and respond in a great promo, by the way. And that was all great. That made me excited for the match of Dynasty. And again, you could have done those two things without the footage of All In and without the need of promoting another company. And, Tony Schiavone said it on his podcast. He didn't really care for it. He's like, yeah. He's like, I don't care about this. Like, and you can see his reaction when they were like, yeah, we're going to show the footage. And then Schiavone just kind of like, he has this look where he feels embarrassed. And it's like he's having flashbacks to WCW 2000, which was why it was trending on Twitter. And, it was like, why? And, the thing is, Tony Schiavone, of all people, knows you do not promote the other company. He was the one, well, technically, Eric Bischoff was the one who told Tony Schiavone to make a joke, make it seem like a bad thing that Mankind winning the WWE title was a bad thing, and the whole butts and seats line that Schiavone is known for became a thing because of that. And then, what happened when Tony said that? Oh man, we hear that Mankind is going to win the world title on the other program. Huh, that'll put butts in seats. And then a whole bunch of people took their remotes and turned it to Raw from Nitro. They switched over from Nitro to Raw to watch Mankind beat The Rock for the WWE Championship. It completely backfired on WCW. It backfired on Eric Bischoff. So if there's one person that works in AEW that knows you don't promote the other company, it's Tony Schiavone. You're just going to get people talking about CM Punk, and people are like, oh yeah, CM Punk's in WWE now. Yeah, so I wonder what he's doing. Boom, now suddenly people are focused on that. People were chanting CM Punk later on in the night when, it was, the whole thing backfired on AEW. And like I said, to me, it was completely useless, pointless. FTR said it in the promo. Who was it for? It was for Tony Khan. Tony Khan tried to make himself to look like the good guy, but he just made himself look completely worse. And I feel bad because the promos by the FTR Young Bucks, I enjoyed them. It got me excited for their match of Dynasty. But instead of, we're not talking about that, we're talking about CM Punk, who wrestles in WWE, not in AEW. So, again, what was the point? Who was it for? What was supposed to be the accomplishment here in all of this? And then to make matters worse, on the same show that this happens, Will Osprey comes out. He says he wants to address a rumor about him not being able to, not being able to take on the grind. And he took a shot at Triple H. And, a lot of people, now this too goes back to kind of what Triple H said last week on the Pat McAfee show. Because again, like CM Punk, he opened his mouth, he said what he said about Tony Khan, and then we're all in this mess because of that. Then Triple H on the Pat McAfee show was like, I guess they were talking about like free agent signings and stuff, and Triple H said, hey, I don't want you if you don't want to do the grind. If you don't, and he's talking about the schedule that comes with WWE. If you don't choose WWE and you go somewhere else that has a lighter schedule, that's kind of what he was saying. Was basically guys like Will Osprey, Mercedes, Okada, people that he's recently lost out to when it comes to losing the battle into AEW and signing free agents. Basically called him out and said, they can't handle the grind of the WWE schedule. And people were wondering who was he talking about. And I finally found the quote from Will Osprey that Triple H was indeed referring to Will Osprey. And maybe Okada, maybe Mercedes, whatever. But Will Osprey, this is from uh, Yahoo, I guess WrestleZone, from March 13th, last month. So he was on the Talk Is Jericho podcast, and Will Osprey basically detailed out saying, hey, this, the differences between what WWE offered, what AEW offered, and this is what he had to say. Yeah, of course I talked to WWE, but it was night and day. Osprey said, even in differences of what they were offering and what AEW was offering. So, again, the difference between them. And again, I'm not going to say that, it's a bad thing. Because, when wrestlers can go to different companies and say, this is what company A is offering, this is what company B is offering, can you match? Can can you do this? Can you, or I'll come here for less if you give me this, or, whatever. But it creates a healthy environment within pro wrestling. So, yeah, I'm not going to fault Will Ospreay for pitting them against each other. I'm not going to pit any wrestler for doing that, or they want to go to AEW because Tony Khan is paying more. That's fine. That's what makes the business of pro wrestling healthy, is that you have wrestlers being able to maximize their worth. But this is the part where he was talking about Triple H, the grind, and all this stuff. Even in differences of what they were offering and what AEW was offering, AEW was way better. The scheduling, everything about AEW was completely the right option for me. It was always, you can go be a superstar in WWE and famous, but it's not as good a pay and it's not as kind of a schedule. I respect everyone there doing it, but it's not for me. So this then led to Triple H on the Pat McAfee show talking about the grind and if people can't do the WWE schedule, he basically doesn't want to sign them, and says he doesn't want you to be a part of WWE. That's what he was talking about. So when Triple H was talking about the grind, that's what he was talking about. It's more so the schedule that comes with working with WWE. So Will Osprey, he goes on Dynamite and says, I want to address the rumors that I can't handle the grind and all this stuff, and kudos to him for flying every week from the UK to America for Dynamite. Absolutely incredible. Like, that is a lot of air miles. And kudos for him to doing that. That's what he wants to do. That's fine by me. I enjoy Will Ospreay's work. I enjoy his matches. And if he's willing to travel every week from the UK to America for Dynamite, for the pay-per-views, that's his prerogative. And I would definitely say, based off of that, he can handle the grind. Now, did he have to go in there and say the same entire joke about Triple H marrying Stephanie? Not really. He made a reference about how he got where he is because he grinded on the boss's daughter, and it was like this really awkward moment, and got a little pop, but I mean, to be honest, you're taking up TV time to talk about another company, another person. Like, it's stupid at this point with AEW and their obsession with WWE. You know, I guess Tony Khan in general has an obsession with CM Punk, which, I mean, we saw Drew McIntyre. He has an obsession with CM Punk, and that cost him the World Heavyweight title. So it's to the point for me where, you know, AEW has a lot of talent. You know, they're doing a lot of good. I think they're working their way back up. They lost a lot of momentum when Triple H took over. Obviously, WWE is red hot right now. But I think, you know, AEW is working their way back up. They're building things back up. And then you do stuff like like we saw on Dynamite, and it's just kind of like, okay, now you're just reversing everything you've been doing to rebuild, you know, the momentum that you lost to get it back. Now you just kind of killed it again. Because now people are like, why are we going to support somebody that is acting like a child? And it's just kind of crazy to me. Especially when you have uh, a WWE guy in Edge, Adam Copeland, going out there talking, you know, a big rah rah AEW is fun and this is the most fun I've had in professional wrestling, blah blah blah. Which, come on, that we all know it's a lie. We all know that was fed completely by Tony Khan after the CM Punk comments. And Dax Hardwood, who came from WWE, came from NXT. He's worked with Triple H. Literally, you have guys going out there cutting promos about how great AEW is, but they're not like AEW originals. They're people that came from WWE. So it's, I don't know, everything's so backward mindset to me. Like, AEW needs to just focus on their own product. You know, they need to focus on themselves. Look, if there's any legal mumbo jumbo that's, you know, that CM Punk, you know, talking the way he did and spilling all the beans in the interview, you know, let the lawyers handle it. If there's, um, you know, if like Tony, you've literally signed Will Osprey, Mercedes Moné, Okada. You prevented them from going to WWE. Like, those are wins over them. Now, obviously, WWE doesn't need them, but honestly, it's still a win when you're signing them and they're choosing your company over the other. Especially with how red hot WWE has been, and they're still choosing you. That's a win. Like, just take those wins and move on. Don't use your TV time to talk about them. Like I said, it's the whole Mankind butts and seats effect where you just want to make fans want to tune in to WWE instead of you. So comment below. Let me know what y'all think about this whole all-in footage stuff that happened. And you know, again, I had to re-record this video and my WrestleMania review because my audio was not recorded for some reason. So sorry, my WrestleMania review will be up a little bit later than I wanted to, but again, I've been having issues with my computer, and I think that's probably why I've been having issues on live streaming. But yeah, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for more wrestling content, and I'll be back with my WrestleMania review, hopefully by Saturday.